Hello, today I'd like to make a video about some quick impressions of the Les Indemodables Discovery set. Mainly, to be honest, I'll be talking about three fragrances, or the three fragrances I know more about because I've tried them the most, are these three, and these are Vanilla Van, then Patchouli Noisette, and the other one is Escale Indonesia. But I have also notes for the other fragrances. Some of them I've tried just quickly and didn't like them a lot, so I didn't give them too much thought. So I will just give you maybe a few words to describe them. So I encourage you to actually buy this discovery set because it's very cheap and it has a lot of fragrances. I think 13 samples for like 3 ml each, high quality samples, very good. The only thing I'm bummed about is that there isn't Oriental Valor. That actually seem to be a fragrance that I probably would have liked. So I'll try to maybe get a sample somewhere else. So let's talk about Vanilla Van. I've actually sprayed Vanilla Van just to remind me of its smell. Actually, no, here I have Patchouli Noisette. Vanilla Van is on this arm. So Vanilla Van is probably, I think, the most, from what I've read, like the most sold and the most popular of the Les Indemodables fragrances. And I'm actually really interested in trying the oud version, but it's like impossible to find. And I found someone on Reddit that made a post like a year ago. I tried to contact him, but he didn't reply. He was like selling some decants from his bottle, but oh well. So Vanilla Van, I'll talk about how this comes to me and describe like the main things, like the overall vibe this fragrance gives me. Sorry, it's here. So what I get most from Vanilla Van is this chocolatey / cacao note. So it's a bit more, let's say, dry and powdery, like cacao powder. But there's also this slightly, more sweeter aspect that generally the chocolate have that maybe the cacao powder doesn't have. This is a mix. Maybe it's more on the cacao powder side, but there's definitely an element of chocolatey sweetness to it. Maybe like a more dark chocolate, if I had to say. Then the second note I get the most is definitely dried fruits, especially I think I get dates. I don't know if there are dates here. And then there is this sweetness that is pretty non-descriptive. I mean, as it comes off to my nose is mainly, I would say, like this ambery sweetness, and also the sweetness that can come from the date itself. So it's like a dried fruit sweetness. Honestly, the vanilla, I don't get it. Like if you told me, like if you didn't give me if I didn't know the name of this, that was Vanilla Van, I probably would say, yes, it's like ambery. Maybe there are dates in here that are giving the sweetness in the base. And probably there is also the vanilla that's giving that sweetness, but I couldn't identify it as vanilla. So it's like, I couldn't say, oh, this is definitely vanilla, In this hand, I'm trying, I think there's Remain from Amouage, and definitely here you get more of the vanilla, tonka beans, a bit more, it's more identifiable. Here it's in Vanilla Van is not actually there. The tobacco also, if it's there, it's pretty well blended. Like if I had to say in general, this perfume feels like well blended in the sense that it's hard to necessarily pinpoint all of the notes. So like there is tobacco in here. I maybe get the texture of the tobacco, but it's hard for me to say like, oh, this is tobacco necessarily, because there's also the cacao powderiness that can fake almost that powdery, texture that also tobacco can give. So it's there, but it's like, I think, well mixed, and it's sort of it's hard to identify and pinpoint that is tobacco. I think similarly, as I said, for the vanilla. It's a nice smell. As I said, I'd like to try the oud version. Maybe, I don't know if I would buy this because I don't like chocolate and cacao as a note, and even like dried fruits like dates. I mean, this is nice. Like if I found a bottle for a cheap price used, I probably would buy this. But I don't know how much I would wear it because it's a bit too sweet, and specifically because it's like this, it has this cacao-y, chocolatey aspect that I don't like. And it's not because it's like more, maybe some people talk about it being more gourmandish, like gourmandy like sweet note or sweet fragrance. Because even like something like Oud Indochine by Maxime Perfumes, that's a very oudy, barnyardy, almost fecal oud, especially in the opening, has that like chocolate aspect to it. And so you could say like that is a more harsher, you know, not sweet perfume or fragrance, but the chocolate for me almost always gives it off. Even like Bocanera by Orto Parisi, not for me, because for the same reason. It's a nice smell, but not necessarily something I would wear. Now, let's talk about Patchouli Noisette. Patchouli Noisette is weird. So, as the name implies, there is patchouli, there is hazelnut. What do I get from this smell? If I had to give you like a quick summary, I get the hazelnuts. I get this vague, I think, like earthy, dark earthiness, slightly chocolatey aspect to it, especially in the opening. And I guess that's a patchouli. It's a more chocolatey patchouli. But there is something in this that I think I've seen people talk about maybe being amberwoods being in here, even though it's not listed. And if there is, it will explain like this sort of oiliness almost, sorry, this like oiliness, slightly cloying. There's like this oiliness that makes the fragrance itself a bit more cloying, a bit harsher to wear, at least for me, less bearable. It's like if you maybe take the patchouli, take the noisette, and then you immerse it in like this brownish oil, and then you put it out, and you pull it out. It probably gives it more performance, but it feels, yeah, a bit cloying, and I think it's also the hazelnut itself that I don't like as a note. Not that I don't like, sorry. It's like with the chocolate of the Vanilla Van. It's like, it's nice, but maybe not my favorite. Not something I would necessarily wear. But here, this like oiliness that I believe it comes from the amberwoods, ruins it a bit for me. So here now we have, what is it? Escale Indonesi. I was mistaking this for Escale in Haiti. I would say that this one, together with Chypres Rural, are interesting, let's say, citrusy, fresh type of smell. I'll talk about them together. I don't have Chypres Rural as a sample. I've sold it. But not because I didn't like it, but because none of these actual samples I enjoyed a lot, and so I like resold them to, you know, make a bit of money back and buy other discovery set. As I'm new to this world of fragrance and perfume, so I always try to sell what I buy so I can buy other new samples. So Escale Indonesi is it smells like this, let's say, lemony, lime-ish, but maybe with a hint of green, like a mint cocktail, fresh cocktail. So I think of like this, yeah, it's like a lemon cocktail, maybe a lime cocktail, or it's a lemon with a hint of something green that could be like a mint or some green leaf. That sometimes maybe that could give you like the idea of the lime, of the greenness that lime has compared to like the like a lemon. So there is this citrusy greenness, freshness. It feels almost like a cocktail. It isn't, I wouldn't say like a strong performer due to the profile of this fragrance. It is nice. The problem I have is like I don't enjoy necessarily citruses a lot as a fragrance, especially if it's like that. That's the only thing there is. I don't enjoy, you know, orange, lemon, or whatever it is. It depends always, obviously, on how it's done. Like if you get something like Jubilation or even King Blue that have like this mandarin note that's very sweet, but it also like it's mixed with other notes. So in that case, I actually enjoyed, because it's not the main actor. In these fragrances in which the citruses are the main elements, I don't know. I want to try this a bit more. I didn't try it a lot, as you can see, like the sample is still there. I like to give this like a full wear, you know, like 15 sprays and see how it goes. But it is nice, don't get me wrong. This is a nice fresh smell that I think a lot of you will like. But you have to know if you enjoy citruses, and how much do you enjoy citruses. Like, do you like them to be the main aspect, or do you like them to be together with something else? Let me just take a sip of coffee. Chypre Azural, sorry, is a bit weird because from what I've read, like a Chypre is something that has like a citrusy note, almost boozy notes, and then it has like maybe a more darkish base, like a leathery base or stuff like that. Chypre Azural actually doesn't come off like that. It's like, for me, Chypre Azural is this boozy orange fragrance. That's what it is. Also like boozy to a point. Like, it's this very strong orange citrus smell. There's probably something else in it. Maybe I don't know if there's also like orange blossom, or if it's like only orange. No, because it is. There is something a bit more that makes it a bit more cloying, a bit more like almost like a fog. It's like orange fog, or this orange smoke. Not because it's smoke, it smells like a smoke, but it's like, it's dense. And after a while, you start to get this almost like booziness. You know, I don't know if it's because it is that strong and dense that it almost goes to your head, or if there's actually something, you know, boozy in it. But it's definitely, there is no base in it. It's like that for the whole wear, and that's what you get. So interesting, but I don't know if I would buy it. No, sorry, I won't buy it because I wouldn't buy it because, as I said, the same with this Scalin in Indonesia. Too much citruses. I think I prefer this one because this is a bit fresher, not as dense and cloying. There's also a bit of greenness to this. There's a bit more variety, but there's that. Now let's talk about Kurdashin, that I think is a sample that I still didn't sell. I think I still have it. Let me see. No, I've sold it. But Kurdashin comes off to me as this almost cold leather smell, almost photorealistic leather smell. It reminds me of this, like the interior of like this leather seats of a car that's been outside in the cold, or not in freezing temperatures, but it's like cool and, to the touch. And there's a hint of apricot. I think there's osmanthus in it. It's not bad. I don't know. I don't remember if there's also immortelle in it. I'm blanking right at the moment, but I prefer, like, if I've had to choose like an osmanthus maybe fragrance, maybe I would choose something like Osmanthus Interdit by Parfum d'Empire. I mean, Kurdashin is definitely more denser, more like serious and a bit maybe more masculine, if you will. Not masculine, but definitely more like unisex. Osmanthus Interdit, I think people could see it as a more like a feminine type of note, smell. It's nice to smell, but it's maybe a bit too sweet, or too, but it's nice because it's fresher, definitely. You get the osmanthus, but also there is like this nice green tea note that comes off as this like very fresh, clean green tea, not a photorealistic, dry, green tea leaf, if you will. So not my favorite because I don't like leather as a note, but it is interesting. Chypre Azural, I'm just reading a bit of some of these I remember by memory. Others I'm just like reading a bit some notes I have here on my computer, just to see if the vague memories I have are the same from what I wrote when I tried them. But Chypre Azural, Fougère Emeraude was probably the worst I tried. is this tuberose balm, and I hate tuberose, and in this case it's very strong, almost nauseating. For me it was like nauseating, almost unsmellable. There is probably something else in it, but you know, if you like tuberose, smell it yourself, and like don't listen to my negative critiques, because it's just a note that it's not for me. So, and it's not, I think, not a fougere at all. It's like a tuberose, mainly a tuberose. Then musc de sable. Musc de sable smells like this very clean, fluffy, slightly musky, you know, smell. There is musk in it. I generally don't like white musk as a note, because sometimes it comes off as a bit harsh to the nose, if that makes sense. Like some musk, I've tried, like, what was it, Dans de Bras by Frederic Malle. That's like an interesting smell, but like the musky, it's almost like if you're putting like this cotton fioc, or what is like this like almost like this marshmallowy texture thing in your nose, and it stings. It's a bit weird. But musc de sable definitely is, I think, from what I remember, was more smoother. It was definitely not as harsh to your nose as a smell. It's a nice, clean smell. Not my style, but yeah, it's like a good, clean, fluffy smell, musky smell, if you like that type of thing. Then we have, let me just read a bit of the other ones I'm missing, because there are like 13 samples, so I don't remember all of them. Yes, Rose de Jamal. Rose de Jamal was weird, because I don't know what I'm smelling, because like it is rose. First of all, I don't like rose necessarily by itself as a fragrance, as a note, sorry. There is this rose that maybe reminded me a bit of like Rose Tonnerre by Frederic Malle, but don't quote me on this. But there is something else in it that's weird. I've seen people talk about it like having this almost pickly element, and I could see why. There's something in it. You know, it's not like you're smelling like a fresh, cool petal. It's like if you're smelling the rose from the inside and you're getting something else that's comes off as a bit weird to me. And maybe, yeah, pickly could be like, you know, like pickles in the jar, you know, it's like this, like if you snap it in half and you smell the inside, it has a bit of that. It's weird. You have to smell it, and not for me, but if you like rose fragrances, definitely give this a try. It's like a high quality rose, but maybe not my my favorite. Amber Supreme, I don't have much to say, because there is ambergris in here. I don't necessarily like ambergris a lot, and I also don't remember this fragrance that much. I remember it being definitely, you could smell the ambergris. It has this like very salty, slightly, you know, animalic, maybe also like slightly spicy edge to it, and with a hint of animalic. And that's all I can say. Like, I don't like ambergris. It's you should try yourself and see if it's like a note that you enjoy. And I mainly got ambergris in that fragrance. Maybe there's also something else, slightly aldehydic, slightly spicy, but not much to say, sorry. Orange Sirocco is probably the second, like after Fougère Merlot, the one I like the least, because it's this cloying and almost nauseating orange blossom. Maybe I just don't like too sweet floral, florals that are too sweet, like neroli, and maybe sometimes it's also described as like slightly animalic. So Orange Sirocco, I get this floral greenness that's maybe with a hint of cinnamon, but it was, yeah, not my. I remember I washed it off immediately. It's like almost nauseating, and I didn't like it at all as a smell. So there's that. Then let's talk about Immortelle Solaire. Immortelle Solaire smells like Immortelle, but like compared to something like Immortelle Course by Parfum d'Empire, that is more airy and almost like pure immortelle, like it's like an immortelle that's by itself. You know, this like creamy yellowish floral thing. In this case, it's a bit more varied and I would say like a bit more complex. Just I say complex just to say that there are more things that I smelled. There's like this spicy edge to it. There's also almost like this, like it reminded me a bit of the notes you get in Vanilla Van, like the tobacco note, maybe the dry fruit note. And however, the second time I tried it, it gave me more of that sort of like curry, almost culinary, like, you know, food element to it. It had this food element to it that I didn't enjoy. So it wasn't as bad as the Immortelle fragrance by Frederic Malle that now I'm blanking the name of. It's like called, was it Saint Jour maybe? That was like disgusting. It had like, I had this almost vinegar aspect, like this vinegar curry thing, and it was super strong and remained on skin even if you cleaned yourself multiple times. And the last one is Escale in Haiti. So I didn't like it compared to Escale in Indonesia because they are different, completely different. Escale in Haiti is basically a vetiver juniper fragrance. It's very spicy, very aromatic. You know, it has the spicy, warm spiciness edge, aromatic edge to it, and so like if you like stuff like even Hope by Frederic Malle, it's I think a bit similar to that. Like there's this vetivery spiciness to it, and yeah, it's like maybe even for the juniper itself that maybe is giving this almost aromatic edge. It's not like Vetiver Extraordinaire by Frederic Malle. That's more of a, I would say like an old wood, airy wood, woody, almost salty smell. This one feels a bit more, yeah, spicy, warm spiciness to it. It has this spicy edge. So that was all I wanted to say. And as I said, for a lot of these, I don't have much to say, but I recommend you to try this discovery set because it doesn't cost a lot. I think I bought it for like 70 or 75, or was it 65? I think 75 euros. And there are a lot of samples, a lot of mLs in it, and it's great value. I like to try Rental Valor, and I was a bit disappointed knowing that this wasn't here, or better, like after trying this, I read about Rental Valor. I know it's like one of the first fragrances they made, so that's maybe the why it's not here. It's like from 2016 or 17, I don't remember, and I know it's like a fragrance that's not. It doesn't sell a lot, and so they make it available only on certain periods of time during the year. Maybe I'll grab a used bottle and try it. And if I can find someone that's selling a sample of the oud version of Vanilla Van, I'd like to try it. I don't think necessarily I would buy it because it would be a more chocolatey oud. That's not for me. I prefer maybe more fruity ouds, if I'm being honest. But nonetheless, I'm interested. Let me know if you've tried these fragrances. Let me know if you actually own some full bottles of Indemodables, and see you in the next video.